All right, there we go. There. Oh, well, almost there we go. Swimming in sweat. Take a shower. Take a shower. Uh, do your do your gamer chair a favor and take a shower. There we go. Hello. Now everything can be seen. I can be seen. Hello. Hello. You took 2 showers today. It's a lot of showers. The ricers are out again. All right, chat. Did I? Yes, yes. There are videos. There are videos I want to watch today. We've got React Andy content to do, but first, the stream segment from Saturday, the history of Calico. I think for these like special stream segment kind of things, the deep dive segments, I think I'm gonna, at least what I'm doing this week, we're gonna see how it goes. I think I'm gonna like edit those and have them set to release on Fridays. So like 6 days after they happen. Because I read on the internet that it's better for your video performance wise to release it on Friday because it's heading into the weekend. I don't know if that's true or not. The internet told me so. So that's probably what's going to be happening going forwards. For those who watch the YouTube videos, which you should. So go watch the YouTube video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, chat. Here's my YouTubes. I'm trying to start doing it a little more seriously. All right. Chat. What's happening in chat? Spooky. Bought AR parts. Nothing too expensive. 2 sets of M-LOK covers, vertical foregrip, and some new grip tape for the black collar. What's the black collar? Sounds fancy. Sounds fancy. Is that a Bond Arms? This is not a Bond Arms. This is the original. This is the Boberg. So this is what the Bond Arms bullpup pistol is based on. The Boberg pistol. Unfortunately, Boberg was not very good at marketing, and so their company went under. But I have that. And this is one of the few guns. This one and the Demolition Ranch one. Oh my goodness, look at my forearm. I'm getting huge, chat. Okay. Okay, so this is the original before Bond Arms. And serial number. This is Boberg number 52. This is serial number 52 out of the factory. So I'm not a serial number chaser, but this is a very early Boberg, which I think is neat. I think it's cool. Tristan, hello. Welcome. Welcome on Kick. Why is your YouTube name different from your Twitch name? Okay, so I have a couple different YouTube channels. Two. We'll go with I have two YouTube channels. One of them is here. This is the one for original content. And then I also have a reaction channel, which is just called the X Count. And that's where I post like React Andy content because I want them to be separate because it doesn't feel like the same kind of thing. And so the Roman Senju, because chat, I do have a name. I know it's hard to deal with. But I do have a name. That is my name. So the Roman Senju YouTube account is my original content kind of stuff. And then the X Count account is the React Andy content. Because I wanted them separate. I don't want them touching. It's like different kinds of food touching on your plate. It doesn't happen. I like them separate. Should have been number 69. Boberg, number 69. Maybe I can find the XR9L, serial number 69. Or maybe 420. All right, what is this grip? Priapus? Priapus? That sounds like a bad word. A Priapus grip? Back order. That is a target grip right there. That is very vertical. No. It's not a Priapussy. I don't think it even has a hole in the bottom. Probably. It probably has a hole in the bottom. It does. Do not the Priapus. Do not your guns, chat. Is that 3D printed? It looks like it's got 3D print lines. Maybe not. Some of the pictures do and some of them don't. I guess I could read it. PRS style grip, AR style grip, precision. Specifically designed for the application of skateboard grip tape. Wonderful. Very comfy off the shoulder. Don't put the pistol grip on your shoulder. Don't do that. It's not where that goes. Is this 3D printed though? I can't tell. If it's 3D printed, $40 seems like a little bit much, but it's not bad. Matilda, not a fan of grip tape. Hurts my soft hands. I'm not a fan of grip tape either. Not because of how it feels, just because it looks weird. Although I guess when it's specifically in a pocket made for it, then I guess it's a little better. Ooh, spin. Spin. No A2 finger groove, not interested. I'm sure you could epoxy craft yourself an A2 finger groove. Penelope. First time in my stream. See Colt DOA 1911 and Sub 2000. My man. Yeah, we have some guns here. A few. So currently today, we have the Heiser as always in the corner because people get upset if it goes away. The DOE clone, the Waifu 1911, the Sub 2000, and the Boberg. And the Boberg? Yeah, and the Boberg. This... I love this gun. This gun is... this gun is beautiful. I love it. This is the XR9S. I need to get the XR9L as well as the XR45. So I need to get the holy Boberg Trinity, but I only have one right now. FG42 when? No. FG42s are so expensive. What's that hiding on the bottom right? Over behind me? Like sticking out from my shoulder? That is the Calico. It's just off on the side. Because there is not space on the desk. Yeah, we like weird guns here. A little bit. Weird guns is where it's at. Gun ASMR. Phalo. I can't do the Phalo ASMR. I have to like turn around and grab it from its shelf behind me. Oh my goodness. Suffer. I need to do what Gotcha does and have 2 different gun ASMR redeems. One for guns that you can see and one for guns that you can't see. Oh my goodness. Here, let me grab it. Let me grab it. Why do you do this to me, chat? One for cat? The cat is usually not allowed in here. Because the cat causes problems. Particularly for guns. Ugh. Spooky. Really resisting urge to buy VZ61 parts kit? Do it. Don't resist the urge. Give in. Alright. You want your ASMR for the ridiculously large gun? Alright, hold on. This is so big and awkward. ASMR mode engaged. Oh, I almost just dropped it. That would have been bad. All right, there you go. There you go. There's ASMR. Oh, hit the mic a little bit. That probably sounds nice. ASMR from the gun that is unreasonably large. All right. Now do it all on camera, but then it wouldn't pick up as well in ASMR. ASMR is best for those with headphones or earbuds. All right, hold on. I got a little behind on chat when I was doing that. Penelope, rapidly advancing Uma Musume addiction. Yeah, it seems a lot of people have been. That's a common one. What waifu is on the sweetheart grip? So this 1911, we have Rem and Ram. I do open carry this sometimes, and I think that might be why the Ram side is yellowing a little bit, because when I open carry it, this is the side that is pointing out. So at some point, I'm going to need to replace the grips or the pictures on this. Until then, we just get to see Rem. Yeah, I do sometimes. I'm not going to claim I do it often. I do sometimes open carry that gun. And I have taken it to IDPA before. Which, let me tell you, the old people at IDPA matches, they really get a staring contest on when people have waifus on their grips, apparently. They're staring at my gun. I think it's because they're jealous. Fruit Salad Puncher, hello, welcome. All right. Surround sound. Yes, surround sound. We got surround sound ASMR. My mic that I'm using is the Blue Yeti. So it's got a little dial you can change. And you can have a dual channel, like budget binaural ASMR mode. And that's what we use for the gun ASMR. Oh, the schedule this week. This is the first time I've streamed this week because I didn't stream on Monday. I haven't talked about my schedule this week. What am I doing? So today, obviously, streaming, chatting. We're going to be doing a little bit of React Andying. And then on Saturday, we're going to do another deep dive segment. We're going to be looking at the history of firearms regulation in the United States. Because with everything going on currently in the gun regulation world, it seems kind of relevant. So we're going to be going over that on Saturday. Obviously, that will become its own YouTube video. And on Sunday, I have a parts kit I need to clean. And actually, why not make content out of it, right? So on Sunday, we got parts kits cleaning stream. which will be very good. Hopefully. It is a lot of little itty bitty tiny parts, Jet. So many parts. Ads, we got ads. We got ads. Schedule, who are you and what have you done with Xcount? It's okay. This schedule, I didn't release the schedule until like Tuesday evening. But this is the second week in a row that we've had a schedule. Even though it was late. Wow. Wowee. And the schedule is in Discord and it's on Twitter. So can we get a deep dive in the use of O&M ball gunpowder for military testing between the years of 1960 and 1968? I think you should do a deep dive on that incredibly specific little piece of gunpowder history right there. I don't even know what O&M ball gunpowder is. O&M ball gunpowder. Ball propellant. Ball propellant is a form of nitrocellulose used in small arms cartridges. Ball propellant can be manufactured more rapidly and with greater safety and less expense than extruded propellants. TLDR, it's why the original M16s malfunctioned like hell. In the 60s? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That kind of makes sense. Wendigoon had a really interesting video on it. Well, if Wendigoon already has a video on it, then why do I need a video on it? Potato. Really need to log back into Discord. Until then, do you mind sending the schedule in the mail? I don't have stamps, chat. I do, however, now have envelopes. And so I can now send mail via snail mail to S&T Manufacturing, as well as the patent holders for the Triple Action Thunder. So that's neat. I need to buy stamps, though. I'm going to do that next time I go grocery shopping. He mostly covered Springfield lobbying around the M14, but that aspect came up. A Wendigoon. Send mail via your local FFL dealer. Were you concerned that I was going to be doing it for too cheap and I needed to go through an FFL? Pretty much a cooler post office. It's a more expensive post office. Also, I had a package that said it was delivered to my FFL today. However, they didn't call me telling me that I had a package or something to pick up. So I don't know what's going on with that. I have to call them tomorrow morning. Uh-oh. Yeah, I got a shipment notification. Because I always sign up for all shipment notifications because I'm crazy. So I got a shipment notification at like 4:30 this morning that my package was out for delivery. So I don't know who's out delivering packages at 4:30 in the morning. And then it was actually delivered at like 9 or 10, but who's sending, who's, goodness sakes, it's 4:30 in the morning. Crazy. I don't know what they were doing. So I do have to call my FFL tomorrow morning. See if maybe they just forgot to call me for some reason. Spooky. Got a delivery once at 12:35 p.m. from DHLers. 12:35 p.m. It's just like the middle of the day. 12:35 a.m. Gross. That's like prime here, have this package stolen delivery time. So when it got loaded onto the truck, it's too early. Go to bed, sleep in. What are you doing? They don't need to be loading it that early. Potato. Imagine that one half awake meme with X, with the one where this just the guy who's got like a flashlight shining in his eyes, just barely woken up. That's kind of what it was like, yeah. It's a good meme. I like that meme. I do I do have to call my FFL about my package. It may or may not be related to the parts kit that we are cleaning on Sunday. And I'm very excited. Unfortunately, this project, like many other projects I currently have and have not completed, probably will not be completed until January or later, whenever ATF, NFA paperwork gets done. Because I, for my many flaws, am very patient. So I have no problem waiting 6 months to file NFA paperwork to save $200. Really, I'm saving like $1,600 by waiting until January to file all of my Form 1s. But it's details. I have a lot of guns that I need to that I need to file Form 1s for. It's a decent chunk of change. It is a decent chunk of change. That also unfortunately means that some of the projects you guys haven't seen and don't get to see until January or after January, whenever Form 1s get approved. Spooky. That's why I'm waiting on VZ SBR. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money, but don't, if you're waiting to do SBR stuff, don't wait too long. Because the closer we get to the $0 tax stamp, the more people will be buying the stuff that is cooler with the tax stamp. And I'm not saying to go out and just like buy everything currently. There's still a lot of time. But I would guess that heading into like December, particularly, all of the SBR inventory related stuff will be drying up as people prepare to file half a year's worth of tax stamps or more all at once. So I personally am already stockpiling things. I'm already stockpiling guns and parts to turn into NFA items come January. And I absolutely will be clogging the system because they deserve it. For sure. Also, the cool imports rule applies here. Yeah, Zastava. Zastava is not looking too hot currently. I mean, they're looking super hot, but that's because Zastavas always look hot. Zastava as a business is, it's not good. For those who don't know about Zastava, Serbia, where Zastava is based, recently banned the export of arms and ammunition, including things that already had approval to export, but just hadn't exported yet. So that means that Serbia banned or held a big shipment that was on its way out that had a bunch of Zastava in it. So that was already rough for Zastava. The little bit of light at the end of the tunnel for that one is that they could theoretically get approval for export from the government. They just have to seek approval for everything individually for every export, which is a huge pain, especially when dealing with the government. We all know how fantastic government is. Unfortunately, Serbia also, it just got slapped with a 35% tariff on imported goods to the United States. So even though they could get exports approved individually, once they get here, they're going to be more expensive because that's how tariffs work. Because the tariff cost gets passed on to the customer, at least in part. So even if Zastava can get approval for export of their guns, the prices are probably still going to be going up because of tariffs. Warlorder. Got my Yugoslavia pistols, so I don't have to. Yugoslavia. So even for those who don't care specifically about Zastava, you should care about these tariffs and as well as the export ban, because PPU, Privy Partisan, or however you pronounce that ammo, also is coming from Serbia. And they are a huge supplier of ammo, particularly the calibers that are not particularly mainstream. So all of your various 7.62s, your surplus calibers like 303 British, all that kind of stuff. A huge portion of that is coming from Serbia, which is unfortunate for those who need that ammo. Imagine if we had people making these things in the US that didn't suck. Imagine. Unfortunately, even those that do make those things in the US aren't very good at it. And they don't make them in very large quantities. Talking about the copper tariff? I wasn't specifically talking about that one. That is a different issue. 25 ACP. And so PPU, I guess partisan. I don't know how to pronounce that one, Chad. The Serbian ammo. Huge supplier of 25 ACP, 32 ACP. Basically every caliber that's not NATO. PPU ammo pretty much dried up. Yeah. Yeah, everyone bought it. Derez, I heard rare earth metals is next on the menu on tariff increases, brass, etc. Who knows? Who knows, really? It is all just, yeah, throwing tariffs into the wind, and you just like see which ones you can catch. And I'm kind of starting to think that the powers that be don't quite understand that the countries where the products are coming from don't pay the tariffs. And that it's actually the United States companies and individuals who pay the tariffs. I don't know. It's kind of looks like that sometimes. COVID times were the best to stock up on ammo. You must have been living in different COVID times than myself. Imagine if an anti-gun Democrat president didn't order that the last operational industrial U.S. lead smelter be shut down and dismantled. Yeah, in the U.S., we do have a strange dichotomy of the government forcing companies to shut down so that people are forced to buy those products and materials from other countries while also increasing the price of the things coming from other countries. I wonder what's going on there. Bovid times? When the cows came home? The cows came home? When did the cows come home? I missed it. I thought everything was just always expensive. Personal opinion, our government is tarded and every other country leech off of us on top of that. You're not wrong. I think you're probably not wrong. All right. And we do have though. We have some React Andying to do, chat. First, since we're talking about the government, let's do this one first. What's going on with SBRs, suppressors, AOWs, and the lawsuit from a lawyer or lawyers? I don't know. I kind of know. I want to hear what these guys' opinion is on it. I don't agree with them on everything, which is good, because sometimes it's good to hear other opinions.
You, Congress, had the ability to tax removed. All right, what now?
Yeah, no regulation can stand. And you might say to yourself, as I said to myself, because I had to pull up the FOPA language, because how often do you read FOPA, Richard?
I mean, I sleep with it under my pillow.
Do you? All right, it's just me.
No.
What's FOPA? What does
We are the
FOPA
Armed
stand
Attorneys
for?
today. We're talking about the big, beautiful bill and how it impacts the National Firearms Act. We're going to be talking
Field
about
of previous
all right, the dust has
authorities.
settled. What does this thing actually say now that the tax has gone away?
Firearm
All
Owners
right, that's it.
Protection
We'll
Act.
talk
Okay.
about it.
Okay, I knew that one.
Is there really any basis for this infringement to stand? Well, maybe not. We got a brand new lawsuit. We're going to be talking about that as well. But before we begin, show your support for the Second Amendment by hitting that like button. And so, the House, Senate, the Congress passed a budget. That's one of the very few things that they're allowed to do. They don't pass individual bills anymore. So, all these things got crammed into it. It was signed into law by
if Congress
President
could
Donald John
just
America
argue on
July
individual
4th,
issues, not
and
pass omnibus
it had some
bills.
interesting
That'd be crazy.
provisions.
It did. It was like whiplash back and forth about whether or not we were going to get the good stuff in there. Was it
The
going
good
to be
stuff.
Hearing
I want the
Protection
good
Act?
stuff.
Was it going to be relief on short barrel firearms? Was it going to be both? Was it going to be neither? And here we are. Here we are. Also, I've learned my lesson on making any kind of predictions.
What was your prediction? Let's refresh our memories.
Well, my first prediction was no, nothing of the sort is ever going to happen, and we're going to be screwed forever in all times.
Yep.
And then I was like, oh my God, I think it's happening. And it wasn't happening. And then I was like, I guess it's not going to happen. And then
Something happened.
And then we got a
something
little
happened.
bit.
So anyway, so yes, don't listen to me.
Okay, so to be fair, until just a few months ago, if you had asked me, I would have been in the nothing ever happens and nothing is going to happen here crowd. You can't touch the NFA, just like you can't touch the United States boats. You can't touch the boats and you can't touch the NFA. But then we touched the NFA just a little bit. Didn't touch the NFA as much as we wanted, but we touched it, which is huge.
The point of this. Listen to Richard.
Well, they had, there's a lot of different moving parts, and we follow a lot of people, lots of scuttlebutt, what was going to ultimately happen. Here's the long and short of it. The tax, the $200 transfer tax, or the tax to, let's say you wanted to build one of these items for suppressors, short-barreled rifles, shotguns, and any other weapons, that tax has been reduced to $0. That's kind of the headline here. But the registration scheme, the applying for the tax stamp, I imagine this thing's going to say $0 on it now, as ridiculous as that is.
You got to register.
The registration, all this other stuff, still in place.
Register
Yes,
your
which-
$0 tax paid.
Which makes sense to me because you know that they just don't give it up that easy.
No.
The government, doesn't matter what government, they just don't give it up that easy. But, so still want to strangle you with regulations and with hoops, but not with the monies. And I don't know. You understand these things far better than I do.
Do I?
I don't know if perhaps that was something that was outside the scope of the bill itself, since the bill was a budget bill. Could it only deal in the tax and not touch upon that aspect?
Nope. What a freeze frame. No. The NFA is and has always been a tax scheme. That's how it was passed. That's how it was upheld by the Supreme Court in multiple Supreme Court cases. The NFA is entirely a tax and a registration of a tax. Without the tax, it's unconstitutional. But also, since it's a tax, it's budgetary and should have been able to be changed in the budget bill. But it wasn't, because these politicians are cowards.
Aspect of it, I don't know. I don't understand these things very well because Other than our work in Texas, I really hate legislative efforts on the federal level, so I
Yeah,
just
reasonable.
don't. Well, I'll leave
That's
that to you.
reasonable.
Well, it came down to the bird rule. Sometimes you hear getting a
Mhm.
bird bath. These things have to be somewhat germane to the purpose of the bill, the budget here.
budget.
And so, the arguments on one side were, hey, this is dismantling more than just, a tax scheme. That argument seemed to prevail
In the
when
Senate,
going through this
yeah.
this process. And so, for that reason,
Of
guess
course-
what?
of course that
we
argument
didn't get what
prevailed.
we wanted. An entire
parliamentarian,
removal of suppressors,
it was a
short-barreled,
Democrat. It was a
rifles and
partisan
shotguns
opinion.
and AOWs from the NFA completely. Obviously, that's what we want. But I'll say, I'm not going to get too mad. I mean, obviously, we want
No.
this thing fixed. But this is a step in the right direction because it sets us up for something very, very good. Because in the past, the National Firearms Act has been justified as a legitimate exercise of the Congress's power.
Yes. And this is very close to, I mean, we only have like game changer, fire in the thumbnail, like news, once every several decades in gun law. It doesn't happen very often. Bruin, one of those moments. This is pretty darn close to it. And it still feels like baby steps to us because
It is baby steps.
just don't get, I mean, game changer moments just don't happen very often. So our baby steps are good, even if our baby steps are imperfect. And here's why: we got the baby step,
Bots in
which
the
was
kick
actually a
chat.
pretty darn big step. And now we've come in with a lawsuit from GOA and a bunch of other plaintiffs to clean it up and make it even better.
Yeah, because
lawsuit-
part of, and this
This lawsuit is going to take forever, first of all, but it's definitely going to be worth watching. And I need it to happen faster than it will be. It won't, though, because it's dealing with the courts, and they are notoriously incredibly slow.
has always been tough. When you have something that's not, think about the federal government. Theoretically, they should only be doing things that were delegated to them. We look at the Constitution. Hey, is Congress allowed to mess with this thing or regulate this thing? The answer for most things are no. Well, guess what? 200 and almost 50 years of law has said the Congress can do basically anything by justification by a couple of different things. Think about the Necessary and Proper Clause. Think about the Commerce Clause. And one of those provisions where they can legitimately act
The Commerce
is
Clause is
taxation.
far
So
too
when you get the
powerful.
Congress doing something that wasn't delegated to it, but they kind of sprinkle in one of these issues where maybe they were allowed to act, such as taxation, the courts had a really difficult time with it. And so we have a case, it's from 1937. I'm going to mispronounce it. Sonzinski v. United States.
There's far too many consonants in this
Sonzinski.
case name.
If you want to check it out, it's 300 U.S. 506, 1937. I think it'd be good if we read kind of the justification out of this.
Yeah, so here I'll just read this is why they get to tax.
I do think that this Supreme Court case was incorrect. I think they made a terrible ruling in Sonzinski. I also think that should a case similar to Sonzinski get to the Supreme Court, there's a real chance that it goes the other way.
Items, right? We are not free to speculate as to the motives which moved Congress to impose it, or as to the extent to which it may operate to restrict the activities taxed. As it is not attended by an offensive regulation, and since it operates as a tax, it is within the national taxing power.
Yeah, in that case, they were looking at all different types of, they were looking at annual dealer registration requirements. They're looking.
And keep in mind, the tax, the $200 tax, back in the 1930s when it was passed, if you adjust that for inflation, $200 is like, what is it, like $3,800 or something? It's something ridiculous. So imagine buying your budget, like, what was it, 4,800? 48? I got the 8 right. Yeah, so imagine buying your budget $300 suppressor and then paying $4,800 in taxes just to get the government's permission to have it. It's absurd.
Looking at NFA transfer tax. They're looking at all kinds of things. And ultimately, they say the Congress can tax.
Yeah. Doesn't really matter why they're taxing it. They're allowed to tax it. We're going to let them tax it. Tax away, Congress.
What horrible logic. Imagine if they use that logic in other places. Like, yeah, as long as it's a tax, whatever, you know? Maybe they can start taxing tea or paper or the right to assembly. I wonder if those taxes were significant at all in the United States history. Probably not. We could just tax everything. It'll be fine.
Yeah, but I guess the kind of Achilles heel of all this, all right, if we're going to justify the NFA as a tax, the tax has been reduced down to $0. Enter tons of plaintiffs, including Gun Owners of America. Where does this go now?
Yeah. So, argument being, now that the tax is only $0, there's no purpose with which you can regulate, require that people jump through these NFA hoops, and maintain your registry. So, we've got
True.
GOA, phenomenal. Again, I will just say we've got big groups here. We've got individual plaintiffs, we've got Silencer Shop, we've got Palmetto State Armory, but we've got the big groups here. We've got GOA, we've got GOF, we've got FRAC, which is I'm more familiar with NSSFs. This is the first time I was hearing of FRAC, but thank you, FRAC. FRAC is like an industry group fighting regulations on manufacturers, dealers.
The group of plaintiffs on this lawsuit is incredible. Like the industry power and the industry money behind this lawsuit, actually insane.
Like that. Shout out, if you are not a GOA member, join GOA. Do it now. Do it soon, because I know y'all talked about while I was out last week the nature of the
No more nationwide injunctions.
No more nationwide injunctions. So we think that those
GOA
injunctions
member
will still
injunction.
stand for class members such as GOA members. So you, not like a class, but a plaintiff's group. So if you would like an injunction to apply to you, if you want the best shot of that happening, should something like this be enjoined, you should go join GOA now. Plus they're a wonderful group, and look, they're fighting for your rights.
Yeah.
But I'm 8+ months pregnant. I've totally lost my train of thought at this.
Traveler, the industry does not care about your rights. They do care about how much more stuff they can sell you if the NFA is repealed. I don't think so. I think that there are certainly certain people or companies in the industry to whom that applies to. But I don't think that applies to everyone. I mean, GOA, they're not selling anything besides memberships, right? PSA has always been a for the people kind of company, making things affordable. Like, if PSA wanted to, they probably could increase their prices and still stay in business and make more money. I think there are industry players that absolutely do care about Second Amendment rights. And even if they don't, if they're going to be fighting with me, then go for it. Why not? I'm open to that.
Point, but we have this lawsuit, those groups.
Oh, speaking of people in the industry only caring about making more money, Silencer Central. Silencer Central may come to mind. I think there may have been a whole debacle with them and trying to only modify the NFA specifically to benefit their business only. Removing the $200 from only the transfer tax for only suppressors. How would that help Silencer Central? Oh, that's right. Because then they can keep their business model intact. And also, people will buy more because the tax stamp would be gone. But only for transfers, not for making it themselves. So if you want an example of an industry player, an industry company that doesn't seem to care about your actual rights and only how much money they can make off of you, there you go. There's an example of someone who doesn't care.
Versus the ATF, and I think that it's a damn good challenge.
Silencer Central is not part of the lawsuit. Silencer Shop is. Yeah. I know Silencer Central is not part of the lawsuit, but I'm talking just like industry in general. Like there are people in the industry who have shown that they don't care about your rights. From what I can see, everyone in the lawsuit, all the plaintiffs in the lawsuit, I don't have any reason to believe that they don't care about the rights of the people, the rights of their customers.
Yeah, so and if you want to follow this case, this is something we're going to be monitoring for, I imagine, the next several years. I'm calling it the Big Beautiful Lawsuit. So this is case number 625-CD00056-H.
That sounds
This is
dirty.
in the Northern District of Texas, so gun-friendly jurisdiction.
They're hoping for a Pittman.
Yeah, we're hoping for a Judge Robert Pittman. So is it Robert Pittman?
I don't remember him.
Okay.
No, I don't remember his first name.
Maybe. I hope I got that right. But I think there's a great, it's a 16-page complaint. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Brazilian
lots of background
bill
on
lift.
all of our named plaintiffs. But
Where's Call
ultimately
Me
what
Dick?
it comes down to is this one paragraph right here I want to read. It says, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which Congress and the President enacted on July the 4th, 2025, zeroes the manufacturer and transfer tax on nearly all NFA-regulated firearms. That means the constitutional foundation on which the NFA rested has
2/3
dissolved.
of them.
See United States v. Constantine. This is 296 U.S. 287 on page 295. That's a 1935 case. And it says, this is a parenthetical, provision that does not generate revenue cannot be justified as a tax, in parenthetical, and the NFA cannot
Ooh.
be upheld under any other Article 1 power.
I had never heard of this specific case before. I may have to go read it, or at least a summary of it. A provision that does not generate revenue cannot be justified as a tax? That's pretty powerful. That, along with the NFA upholding one, the Straczynski, or whatever that one was, that I can never remember. I know there's two big NFA Supreme Court cases, Miller and Straczynski or something, and I can never remember the second one. But if you combine those, that seems like not an unbeatable argument, but it's going to be really hard to argue against.
With respect to the untaxed firearms, the act is now unconstitutional. That's really what it's all about. Congress had the ability to tax removed. All right, what now?
Yeah, no regulation can stand. And you might say to yourself, as I said to myself, because I had to pull up the FOPA language, because how often do you read FOPA, Richard?
I sleep with it under my pillow.
Do you? All right, it's just me.
No.
So,
You're
as
gonna
I
have
said,
a
well,
FOPA reading stream.
without the tax, does
That'd be
this
awful.
now
No
become
one wants that.
an unlawful federal government firearm registry such that FOPA would prohibit it? And I think the answer is no. I think the answer.
Let's hear why, because I'm with you.
Yeah, because and I hate answering my own questions in the negative because I want to be like, hell yeah, sister. But here's what I think we've got. So, here is how that restriction reads in Section 926. It's no such rule or regulation prescribed after the date of the enactment of the Firearms Owner Protection Act, which of course is 1986, because old Jimmy Carter was trying to create a national federal firearms registry. may require that records required to be maintained under this chapter, any portion of the contents of such records be recorded at or transferred to a facility owned, managed, or controlled by the United States or any state or any political subdivision thereof.
Well, they're already
Nor
not
that any
following
system
that.
of registration of firearms, firearms owners, or firearms transactions or dispositions be established. Here is the rub, though. It's no such rule or regulation prescribed after the date of the enactment of this act, which, of course, the NFA was enacted 60 years before, 70 years. Somewhere 60, 70.
am not following
before
this
the
argument
enactment
here.
of FOPA. So does that restriction of FOPA jump into place once we've modified the NFA?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Not under construction. I mean, it wouldn't revive a statute or anything like that.
So, so I think that unfortunately, because that would have been because I thought to myself,
I'm really trying
I'm
to.
an attorney, and
I'm
like,
really
I make
trying
good
to
arguments.
figure
I'm
out
like,
how this
man, why did
applies,
they
and I
argue
can't
that?
do
And then I
it.
was like, there's a reason they didn't argue that, and I pulled it up. I think that's the reason.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting discussion to be had.
But I'll say, obviously didn't get everything we wanted with Hearing Protection Act, the Short Act, but $0 tax. I mean, anytime we're not paying the money, government money, you're gonna sign me up for that one.
Baby steps are good. Baby steps are good. I cannot say it enough because I know that the people out there, and you're absolutists, and I get you, and we need you. we need you.
Yes.
We need the absolutists. I am all here for it. However, absolutism sacrifices a whole lot of the little good stuff
It's true.
that inches us
It is
forward
true.
to that place where we need to go. So
Yeah, but
There's one of the sides here in the political movements, particularly surrounding guns, that celebrates every time they get a baby step. Which is why things have been happening for the gun control people. Because every baby step gets support. Whereas the pro-gun people, if there's a baby step, then people start complaining that this baby isn't sprinting. You gotta let the baby take a first couple steps and then teach it to sprint the more steps it takes. Be happy with the baby steps. But don't settle for the baby steps. You keep teaching the baby how to walk better.
we're going to be monitoring this lawsuit very closely, but we hope you enjoyed this discussion. If you did, consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and help us fight the anti-2A algorithm by sharing this video.
And let us know what you think in the questions and comments below. Would you go ahead and register with the NFA for a $0 tax, or would you wait until next time with armed attorneys?
No, chat, don't slap the baby till it runs. Don't slap the baby till it runs. Don't do that. Don't hit children. All right, here you go. If anyone wants that video, there it is. No slapping babies, chat. Come January, I definitely will be. Definitely will be registering many an NFA item. And I will be clogging the system along with everyone else. It's time to go buy a sack of potatoes from the grocery store and then build some spud suppressors, some spud silencers, just like the IRA. Ferocious. Man, I hope I'm long hired somewhere by January. Wait, do we need permission slips for silencers too? Or just for short barrels to cross straight lines? You just need the permission slips for short barreled firearms and destructive devices and machine guns. Suppressors are exempt from that. For who knows why. Probably someone. I used to know why, but I forgot. Ferocious. In January, I suppose I could consider a suppressor. Make a sack of IRA spud suppressors. Man, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Open image in new tab. There you go, chat. This one. This one. The IRA spud silencer. Single use suppressor. It's biodegradable. It's actually the ideal suppressor. And you can make a whole bag of them for however much a bag of potato costs in your area. It is pretty tempting. I guess I've got 6 months to decide whether or not I'm going to do this. It's pretty tempting to go buy an assortment of vegetables from the grocery store and turn them all into $0 suppressors and make a video about, you know, whether or not, or make a video about like which vegetables work best for suppression. I think that'd be funny. I expect none of them would work very well. It doesn't do anything other than screw up people trying to actually register things. Yeah, register things like my arsenal of vegetable suppressors. I'll give this suppressor a splatty tomato. A tomato, probably. The wild speculation, I don't think it would make a very good suppressor. I could be wrong about this, but I don't think it's going to work very well. There have been a lot of people I've seen on social medias of various kinds saying that they're going to just register all kinds of ridiculous NFA items purely. Kickbot, go away. Kick is supposed to automatically moderate those out. Let me add a couple more words to my Kick banned words. See if we can make those bots go away. Audience. Audience is going to be a good one. That's going to get rid of those guys. Stupid. It didn't use the word. I have a bunch of words now on my Kick banned words list. Eventually, you're just not gonna be able to type anything at all, just so there's no bots. What was I saying before I got distracted by Kickbot? Oh, suppressors. I've seen a lot of people on social medias saying that they're going to be registering so many NFA items that are just ridiculous, purely to clog the system as a protest of that these things are still in the NFA at all. Will that be effective? I don't know. I I would tend to think probably not, unless it was something that was done much on a much larger scale. But I can understand why people would do it. Highly unlikely. Might backfire. It could backfire. However, there is still the provision for the ATF that they lose funding if they're not doing the NFA paperwork in a reasonable amount of time. Thank you, Clyde. Representative Clyde coming in strong on that one. That's why your forms are taking weeks now instead of a year. Megalum. I'm going to form one a Pringles can, 2 sponges, and a rubber glove. It's an interesting recipe for espresso you've got there. Hopefully it's a full-size Pringles can and not the snack-sized ones. I probably am going to form one a balls suppressor though. Potato. You know there's going to be more than one person who registers a dildo as a suppressor? There already has been. There already have been multiple dildo suppressors registered. Do you remember or have you seen the PSR videos about that? Sponsored by Adam and Eve. Not me, PSR. Those are some of the videos of all time. PSR, mad lad, crazy. Ferocious. I'm convinced he's gay because of those. Doesn't PSR have a girlfriend? I'm pretty sure he talked about it on like some podcast he was on for someone else's content. He said was. Was gay. Someone straightened him out. He did recently in a video? Well. I knew I saw it somewhere. It doesn't rule out swinging both ways. Yeah, I guess that's true. PSR does be swinging a lot of things all over the place in his videos, so he can swing in all kinds of directions, I bet. All right, we've got another video. We've got more React Andy content. The last one was a little bit educational. This next one is purely React Andy. Matilda, I always approve of homoeroticism in otherwise non-sexual YouTube videos. I'm pretty sure every guy is a little homoerotic when he's out with the boys. I think there's memes about that. So it must be true. And PSR videos do kind of feel like a out with the guys kind of YouTube video. Kind of vibe on the videos. Except like the weird guy. You're out with the weird guy. Imagine being such a bad lay that you cause someone to reorient their sexual orientation. Many such stories. Many such stories. Gotta be careful what guys you hang with. Are you afraid they're gonna like turn you gay? I'm gonna be honest, being gay would be so much easier. You don't have to deal with women. Can you imagine? Women are scary. And so hard to understand. Guys are easy. Some guy had a cop friend that ruined his life years later. Well, don't have narc friends. Don't be friends with narcs, chat. Don't do that. You've heard of the news? You're gonna have to be more specific. There's there's a lot of news going on right now. What news are you talking about? That's why tomboys are and always will be the straightest attraction. We're big fans of tomboys here. Look up the Virginia man, Brad Spatford. Brad Spatford? Spafford? That sounds kind of depressing. Like some guy getting betrayed by his friends? That sounds super depressing. Why would you be depressed when you can look at some guy's long Glock?
What are you, like a magician or something?
Yeah. And what are you, a psychic?
Well, do a trick or something.
Well, what kind
Do a
of
trick. Do a trick.
Make this longer.
This guy is big, but this gun is stronger. Abracadabra, let's make it longer. Huh, whoops.
He made it
Sorry about
orange.
that.
Hey.
Who's the magician now?
That's amazing.
That's a good long Glock right there.
Could you make it longer, though?
This guy is big, this gun is stronger. Abracadabra, let's make it longer. How about that?
There's no way that
Dude,
functions
you're amazing.
correctly.
You are by far
right?
The greatest musician to ever live. All right.
Hold
That'll be 20
musician.
bucks.
$20.
I don't
That's a
have
hell
any
of a deal.
I said that'll be $20.
I'll pay $20 for that. That's a good deal right there.
What's up, everybody? My name is Scott, and you're watching Kentucky Ballistics. And this here is a Glock. And my favorite flavor of Glock is a Glock 10 millimeter. This is a Glock 20, and this has a 4.6 inch barrel. And I absolutely love it. But what I love more than the Glock 20 is the Glock 40. This has a 6-inch barrel
Glock
and
40
is
is-
chambered in 10
Glock
millimeter.
40 is cool.
And this thing is
Very
a ton
popular
of fun
for
to shoot.
bear country.
But today I have something a tad bit bigger. Today I have the super
The Glock
duper
17
long slide Glock.
LLLL.
This was made by Keelan
L.
Custom. They also made the super long slide 1911, and now they have made, to my knowledge, the longest Glock to ever exist.
That is
this
ridiculous.
is a Glock 20, but it now has a 16-inch barrel,
Glock 20?
a slide cut, and it is threaded. I am very
That slide cut is so small compared to the whole slide. A little cut at the front.
excited about this thing. I have not shot it yet. I am curious to see if it will function and what kind of velocities are we going to get out of this thing with a 16-inch barrel. So now let's go get set up and get started. Okay, first things first, we're going to take a few shots with this
I mean, it's
thing
10
and see if
millimeter.
it will even function. I am loaded up with some 200 grain 10 millimeter hard casts.
You've
Okay,
got
let's see
to
if it
you've
will
got to
even
have to
chamber.
use full power 10 millimeter in that thing.
It does. We're
There's
off
no
to a
way.
good start. We are 30 yards back.
It worked.
That is a very weird feeling. It's like the slide is moving in slow-mo. It's working.
Okay, that works much better than I expected it to.
Wow.
Glock
I am
reliability
pretty
right
impressed
there.
right now. Something this long in a semi-automatic platform, I'm really surprised that it functioned with all 15 rounds flawlessly.
I'm surprised
Does
it
seem
functioned
like
at
hitting it
all.
A little low, but that would be my only complaint right now. Well, I think this calls for a mag dump.
Oh my goodness, that barrel's moving so much. Put a suppressor on it. And a force reset trigger.
You just got
Put
jammed.
an FRT in there.
Oh, we almost made it. Had one round left and we jammed, but you know what? I would still say that's pretty good. And I really like this a lot. Let's have some more fun with it, shall we? So up next, we're gonna be a little bit scientific. I am very curious to see what kind of velocity increase we are getting out of this 16-inch barrel. So up next, we're gonna take one shot with the Glock 20, the Glock 40, and the Glock 40,000, all over this
Glock
handy-dandy device
40,000.
called a chronograph. This measures the speed of our bullets, and it also doubles as my Wi-Fi router. Up first is the Glock 20 10 millimeter, and I'm loaded up with a SIG 180 grain jacketed hollow point. Okay, here we go.
The frame rails holding the upper are screaming.
148 feet per
It's
second.
got reinforced
same
rails. It's
ammunition,
gotta.
But now we are using the Glock 40, and this has a 6-inch barrel. Here we go. 1,206 feet per second. Okay, now same ammunition, but out of the super duper long slide Glock 10 mil. Here we go.
It does sound good. That is a cool sounding slide.
1,295 feet per second. So we almost gained 100 feet per second with the long slide Glock. Now there's just one last thing to do. You know the drill.
Oh, Buddy almost got executed. He got saved. All that weight up front's got to
Woo! Sorry
make the
about that.
vertical
I don't know
recoil
what came over
a
me.
lot better,
Now, what were we
right?
doing? What were we doing? I don't know. Let's move on. So now we're going to see what happens when we hit some targets with some very high velocity.
Razor Wind.
YouTube just traded with 19 viewers.
Welcome. Welcome, Razorwind. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, how's
Alessio
it going?
Sarasik just followed on Twitch.
But welcome, how's it going? How was
Either for
Girls
just
Frontline
followed on
2?
Twitch.
Did you get Springfield and MP5? I just recently pulled up Girls Frontline again a few days ago because I kind of gotten out of it because I was a little busy. And I got Springfield, like first pull. I guess first 10 pull. It is beautiful. Got MP5. Got it without spending a dime. Free to play. Massive. I also am free to play. That's because I'm broke though. Because someone keeps spending my money on guns. Interesting gun collection. Thank you. That's exactly what we're here for. Interesting guns. We don't even have the most interesting ones on the table. I mean, I guess this one's over here. Peeking in from the side. Is Girls Frontline on PC? There is a PC client for Girls Frontline. Yes. Calico? Yes, we do have Calico. I will also, there's also a, I gotta self-advertise after the raid, right? I am dropping a history of Calico video on YouTube that'll be coming out on Friday. Roman Senju, YouTube. On PC, tablet, and phone. I should get it on my phone so that I don't have to be at my computer. I can be up around it doing stuff and auto running Girls Frontline in the background. Alexius, plan on showing us some of my stuff when I start streaming. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, we do quite a bit of hand scam stuff here. This last Sunday, we did a gun cleaning stream. This upcoming Sunday, we're going to be doing a parts kits cleaning stream. So, if you like guns and weird guns and doing stuff with guns, good place for you. We do a lot of yapping, a lot of gun-related content. Melee units tend to do weird things in GFL2 auto battle. Most of my GFL2 auto battles don't last more than 2 turns. Because the auto battle is pretty good at the 416 absolute just AoE destruction. So you just auto battle, and then a few minutes later you come back and be like, oh, I won. And the first move. It's Clukai. She's not called 416 anymore. She's called Clukai. I'm still stuck on Girls Frontline 1 names. where they would just call the name of their gun. I kind of like that better, I'm gonna be honest. 416 is wife. I mean, 416 is pretty cool. But I personally am going to be leaning towards Groza or Vector. Maybe Macchiato. WA 2000. Merc. Trying to get my Saint 556. Very nice. I've heard good things about those. I don't have one, but I've heard good things in terms of, you know, generic AR. Not the biggest fan of Keltex. I'd like to have the KSG. Is it because you like John Wick? Do you want the KSG because it's in John Wick? If so, reasonable. I am a big fan of Keltec. I have a few. I really like the Keltec bullpup rifles. I have the RDB. I would like to get the RFB. Those ones are a little more expensive though. The RDBs have been at very good prices recently. If you want a bullpup that has a decent trigger, RDB, very good. Check buffer tube on them. Had a friend had a way too light one with the buffers on the Saint. Maybe. Probably. Springfield, USA, not particularly well known for their quality control. The Springfield imports, the HS product imports, seem to be very good though. Always wanted KSG. Do like the John Wick a lot. I do like the KSG. I think it's neat. If I was going to get the KSG, I'd probably get one of the weird variants. Like the KSG Patrol or the KSG 25. Not the normal one. Either the short one or the ridiculously long one. Nat Guns CP shooter. We don't have any P shooters here. These are all 9mm, except for that one up there. That one is 7.62 by 39. The rest of these are all 9s. Unless your Ps are 9mm, then yes. What's the tiny pistol at the bottom? Small gun. This is a Boberg XR9S. This is a bullpup pistol. Here. Since we're here talking about it, and we got new people from the raid. Bullpup pistol. So, let me get a snap cap. So what makes this pistol unique is the position of the chamber. You will notice the chamber for this is not in a place that can just have the bullet or the round be pushed forward out of the magazine into the chamber. Whereas a standard gun, Glock, for example, you see the chamber right here in front of the magazine. So as the slide comes forward, it just pushes it forward and up into the chamber there. The Boberg cannot do that because the barrel goes back too far. Is that a Gen 517? It is. It is. So how this gun works is, first of all, your magazine, you load it backwards. So you have your primer side pointing out instead of the bullet side staking out. And so you load it. And when this is loaded, there are, on the inside, little claws that will grab onto the rim of your 9mm case. Let's see if we can do this slowly so you can see what's going on in there. So you've got your claws grabbed onto that pull it backwards out of the magazine. Then it hits a spot at the back that then raises it up on an elevator and then pushes it forward into the barrel. And it does that repeatedly. And it is entirely ridiculous. And that has shot onto the floor somewhere. Got it. It's okay. Really interesting mechanism. It is a very interesting mechanism. It is very strange. Well, we can actually let's take it apart. So there's no last round hold open. So to take it apart, you have this lever here that is going to rotate 90 degrees down.
Kamen Rider _ JBSX just followed on Twitch.
Kamen Rider. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Learning about guns? Yeah, we do a little bit of that here. So, let's see if I can do this where you guys can see it. So you pull the slide back, rotate that lever 180 degrees. That comes off the top. And then you can see this is your recoil spring. It is very small. And it just slides in the side there. But now it's apart, we can see in there. You can see that right there. That is the claw that grabs onto the rim of your case. And pulls it back. So that is kind of the internal mechanism. So pulls it back, lifts it up. The elevator is on the frame part right there. So it lifts it up. It's very hard to do without the gun being together. So we're not going to do that. It is a very strange design, and I am a big fan of it, even though it is way overly complicated. It is also a rotating barrel design for those who are fans of rotating barrels, like myself. So instead of being a tilting barrel, it's kind of hard to see the barrel rotate since it is stainless, but it is a rotating barrel design. So like the PX4, like the Grand Power pistols, it's very cool. It's a conversation piece for sure. It is. It's a conversation piece. It's a collector's piece. It also is an incredibly low serial number. It is a 2-digit serial number. So I'm not a serial number hunter or anything, but it's neat. As always, the Weeb 1991. 1911, perhaps. So we do have the REM 1911 out. See, Merc. Gonna be getting my AR here. And then get some guns like Chris Vector, Gen 3. I am a big fan of the Chris Vector. I do need to get a Chris Vector at some point. It's not super high on my priority list because Chris Vectors are not going anywhere. And I have other things on my to get list that are more urgent to get because they could disappear at any moment, like Zostivas. Merc, which 1911 should I consider getting? I've seen a lot of them. I don't do the full size well since they're huge. If you're looking for a small 1911, there are some companies that make miniaturized 1911s. So like there's the Browning 380 1911s that are just shrunken down 1911s. Those are pretty neat if you don't like the full size. Can we hear you talk about the practicality of some Ruby weapons? I haven't seen Ruby. I've not watched that one yet. I don't know the guns in that one. If you're looking for a 1911 and you got smaller hands, you don't want the full size. The Browning 1911 and 380, very cool. Rock Island also makes some smaller 1911s. I don't remember what they're called though. It's on Hulu. I don't have Hulu. The only subscription service that I have is Crunchyroll. ASN Spotify, but you can't watch anime on Spotify. The 9mm AR on top is the Department of Energy model? Yes. So this is the Colt 635 DOE model, or a clone of it. It's not an original. Very cool. It's a variant of the 635 9mm Colt AR that was adopted by the Department of Energy to guard power plants. And it's very neat, very cool. I do need to get a gooseneck mount for it so I can put a Seymour on it, because there was a picture I saw at one point of one of these that had a gooseneck Seymour sight on it, and I want that. Razorwind. I'm gonna get a Springfield M1A. Those are cool. Are you just gonna get the generic Springfield M1A, or one of the variants, like the tanker or the SOCOM 16? Personally, if I was gonna get a Springfield M1A, which I would like, another gun that I want that's very low on my to get list, I would get the tanker with the Woodstock, because that one's the coolest in my personal opinion. It's a bit shorter, a bit handier, but still has the wood, and wood just feels good on a gun. Nat the Fox. I'll talk about my OC's weapon. It's called Victorian. I'll drop a description for you to read and rate the idea. Merc, I tried out the Springfield 2011s, and I do like it, but I've heard they jam a lot as well. I've heard very mixed reviews on the Springfield. It's the Prodigy. Prodigy is their 2011. I've heard very mixed reviews. I think that comes down to the quality control issues on that one. Because there's some people I know who have the Springfield 2011 and just love it. They swear by it and they think it's beautiful. But other people have had all kinds of issues. Razorwind, hate to raid and run. It's late and am exhausted. You're good. You're good. Thank you for the raid again. Very much appreciated. Nat the Fox. Victorium is a ginormous claymore made out of titanium, gold, gravity, dust alloy. Are we about to read a Cabot description of a gun right here? We're about to read a Cabot description of a gun, inspired by Cabot. That doubles as an interchangeable caliber lightning dust powered Gauss sniper rifle. Holy sci-fi. I don't know how to rate a sci-fi gun. Function as an artillery cannon in some cases. Its receiver with the dual 24 round cylinders. Is it a revolver? Total rounds 48. Ammo count varies depending on caliber. I'm so confused. Pop out and turn into a large dual cylinder revolver. It is where I was right. Which Vermilion dual wields with alongside a giant sword. Giant sword rifle combo can have a grip attached to the long sword handle that houses the trigger, like a bayonet. This is a giant revolver bayonet. Holy sci-fi anime. Allowing the weapon to be used as if it was a halberd in a smaller fighting style. I'm so confused. Cabot, C-A-B-O-T. If you want to read pretentious gun descriptions, Cabot is where it's at. It's just a railgun. Oh, it's just a railgun. No big deal. It's just a railgun. I don't know. It sounds like a cool gun. It's a little bit out of my expert field, which is firearms that run on explosions and metal. But it sounds like it could be cool in a sci-fi setting. All right. We got a little distracted. We got a little distracted there. Long Glock.
Velocity 10 millimeter. So our first target is going to be pimento cheese, and these are surprisingly explosive. And as I mentioned in the beginning
Explosive
of the video,
cheese.
this thing is threaded.
Taco Bell
so
cheese.
now we're going to see what happens when we shoot this thing with a 45
There's
Ghost
no way.
suppressor. Okay,
There's no way this
sounds like.
works
I'm gonna go for
with
the
a
pimento
suppressor.
cheese in the middle first.
Do I have that suppressor? Is that a Huxworks 45 suppressor? Well, that was explosive cheese. Average Taco Bell bathroom experience.
Doesn't sound half bad, and that is a pretty explosive. Oh, wow. Okay, we got one more. Here we go.
I think he got it.
That is awesome.
Does he have cheese on his Glock now?
Pretty stinking cool. Those rounds are definitely supersonic, but I don't think you'd be able to run subs in this. I don't know if it would actually cycle. But that's still pretty quiet and sounds
Only
pretty
one way to
cool.
find out.
Up next, we're gonna get fancy.
Oh, we're not
I
gonna
have
find out.
3 cans of escargot, aka dirty,
Ugh.
stinky snails. The
Canned
smell
escargot?
of
That's
snails
nasty.
Should pair quite well with the pimento cheese.
I have had
Blah.
not canned escargot, and it's pretty good. I'm be
Wow,
honest.
it popped that can. And those
Love me some
were
snails.
Flying. Oh!
Oh, ugh.
Oh, we got one
I don't like
more.
that. That looks
Here we
gross.
go.
Ugh.
That's awful. So I don't.
That is
exactly
awful.
keep these snails in a suitable storage facility. It's just like a hot shed. So these little guys right here. Oh, they are ripe.
What is that? It's
snails.
snails.
Yeah. Oh, Way to
Escargot
peel
is
those
snails.
Cans open. That is awesome.
And escargot,
I
is
eat
very
the
good.
snail. You subscribe to the channel.
no, the gun. Canned
You
escargot's
don't
gotta
have
be
to
so
subscribe,
gross.
Okay. So next,
The gun
I
is
have
the
some
Glock
rather
40,000.
interesting ammunition that I'm very excited to try out in this long slide Glock. Our target is going to be
16-inch
3
barrel
gallons
Glock.
of mayonnaise, and the ammunition that I'm going to be using is a long loss ammunition. This is 10 millimeter RIP ammunition. About
That
8
is a
years
long
ago,
lost
these
ammo.
were all the rage. These are a solid copper round. They have a base plate, and then all of those little spikes you see are petals, and they're supposed to just shoot out and create multiple wound channels. I actually
rip
tested
rounds
these
were
out
so
a
cool.
long
They didn't-
time ago, and they're not very effective. But I am
They didn't
curious
work
to see
very
what
well.
would happen with these out of a 16-inch barrel hitting mayonnaise. I'm not really sure if these are
Use
suppressor safe.
mayonnaise and
So
instrument.
we're going unsuppressed for these. I also don't know if it will cycle the gun. Let's find out. I'm going to go for the one on the right first. Oh,
That did not look like it cycled. Mayonnaise is nasty.
hey, it cycled.
Did it?
Surprising. Oh,
Oh,
no,
it didn't.
It did not.
I didn't think it cycled.
All right. Next target. Oh! All right, I bet you didn't cycle that one either. Nope. All right, last one. I'll tell you what, let's scoot up for this one. There we go. Oh!
Oh, now he's got mayonnaise on his gun.
Oh.
And on his back.
Oh, gosh. Oh. There's a little. So nasty. There's a little hole inside right there.
His range has got to smell
I don't know
so
what that's
bad
from.
a
Maybe that
couple
is
days
from a
after
pedal.
filming a video.
Not
Oh
really
my
sure.
goodness. Oh, don't touch it.
Man, that's nasty there. Ugh.
Oh,
Woo! It is hot. You know what else is hot? The desert.
Kentucky
the Sonoran
ballistics.
Desert. And
Oh.
if you want to get your start in firearms technology, be sure and check out Sonoran Desert Institute. There's a link in the description down below. You know, there ain't nothing better on a hot day than mayonnaise and chili with beans. So we're going back to suppress, and I have
I
some
could go for some
ammunition that I'm
chili
very
on a hot
excited to
day.
try out. These are Underwood ammo
With cheese, though, not
135 grain
mayonnaise.
jacketed hollow points, 10 mil. These are screaming even out of a 4-inch barrel. So I'm very curious to see what happens when we shoot them out of these super duper long slide Glock. I do not know if they will function the slide though. Here we go. Chili on the right. Wow.
that
Wow.
was
Okay.
aggressive.
So I just got pelted with beans. Those beans hit me so hard that I thought something had went wrong. Had a little flashback there for a second. Thought I was going to have to put a thumb in something. And for those of you who are new to the channel,
He's putting a thumb in
gun
his
exploded
beans.
on me. Go Google it. I feel like I should take a step backwards. I don't know. I'm going to do it again. Here we go. Oh!
That is aggressive.
Oh, on the nose. On the nose. It's still raining chili. These rounds are ridiculous. What the heck? All right. Last one. Here we go. Oh, no. Oh, oh.
All that good chili. You could have a nice chili dog with that chili.
Covered in chili. Wow. Okay. 135 grain jacketed hollow points in a 16-inch 10 millimeter. It's pretty much a high energy weapon. It's like a laser beam. So up next, we are gonna shoot some eggplant because nobody likes eggplant.
Eggplant
Recycling now.
doesn't do a lot when you shoot it.
I don't know what happened, but this thing is now cycling with the 135 grain jacketed hollow points. Those things absolutely obliterated those eggplants. Well, let's go ahead
Break-in
and add
period. Got through the
another
break-in period.
disgusting target to the wonderful array that we have out here now. This is Spam, and this is surprisingly quite explosive, both when you shoot it and when you eat it. I say we also hit these with the 135 grain jacketed hollow
Canadians
points
and Hawaiians
because
in
they
shambles.
seem to be pretty darn effective. Okay, let's see what happens. Here we go. Okay. About
The
like what happened
delay.
with beans.
The delay from the things hitting the ground afterwards.
Oh. There's one more on the table, but it's laying down.
Oh, there. That one launched somewhere.
Okay. So, one of the cans came right back at me. It's kind of hard to tell where anything is right now because it's kind of a mess out here.
It's a little bit of a mess. Just a little.
Here's a little bitty piece of Spam. I'm going to say that 135 grain jacketed hollow points out of a 10 mil, though, just straight up vaporize things. So, I don't know if you're aware or not, but Kentucky has a rodent infestation, and those rodents are
Oh,
called
gross.
Furbies. These are the most wretched creatures to ever exist, and now we're going to see if a long
Furbies are
slide
so
10
cursed.
millimeter would be an effective
Luckily,
weapon against
I didn't
such
have
a
one to be
wretched
traumatized
beast.
by as a child. I didn't realize you could make it worse. But apparently if you cover a Furby in mayonnaise, it's worse.
Well, I got a little bit of mayonnaise on my gun. Let's have a look at the Furby. Ugh. Wow, I blew all the mayonnaise off of the Furby. He's okay. Well, seems a long slide Glock didn't do the trick.
This is the proper response to Furbies. Is his chipper okay? He's got a Furby pelt. What is that? It almost killed his wood chipper. It did kill his wood chipper. Oh no. It's over.
Well, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do me a favor and give it a like. make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, let me know what you thought about the long slide Glock in the comment section down below. Also, be sure to check me out on all other social media platforms. Links to those can be found in the description
He
down
didn't get
below,
to put the table
along
through the
with a
wood
link
chipper.
to KentuckyBallistics.com, just in case you want to pick up a shirt. And as always, my name is Scott. Thank you so much for watching Kentucky Ballistics. I'll see you next time. Wait a minute. Wait, I forgot something.
Do I need a 16-inch barrel Glock? Maybe. It's a little ridiculous. Luckily, I've never liked a ridiculous thing before. That would have never happened. Did he snipe with it? I don't think he did accuracy testing. A 10 mil carbine would seem more practical. Yeah, but the 10 millimeter carbines already exist. And they're kind of boring. You know, like High Point has a 10 millimeter carbine. I'm sure other people do too. Theoretically, there could be a Springfield Kuna in 10 millimeter. There's the ASW. There's an ASW 10 millimeter carbine. They're out there. CMMG, yeah, CMMG makes some. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of 10 millimeter carbine options. I'm still waiting for the Taurus RPC. Haven't heard anything about that one since SHOT Show. And then Iwa. It was at Iwa, I believe. Common Rider, I like 380. You're gonna have a much harder time finding a 380 carbine. For now, Glock 40 will do the job. Are you in bear country? Is that your job? Bear country? Glock 40s are cool. My only Glock is the 17L. Because it's the best Glock. You're in Texas there? So it's a hog gun. It's a hog gun. Not long enough. After watching the Kentucky Ballistics video, the 17L doesn't seem all that long. Also, just comparing it to my other guns, excluding this one, it's just not that long. I have a lot of really long pistols. Is there something wrong with me? Perhaps. Maybe. I have a lot of really long pistols. Got this one. Also, very long. Technically not a Glock. How many long pistols? Obviously the Calico. We showed that one earlier. Grand Power. Long boy. Get the Auto Mag. That one's long as well. I just have long pistols. Like them long. Yeah, length matters. Don't let anyone tell you it doesn't. Even though the Bowberg can get the job done, you're gonna look a lot cooler getting the job done with something bigger. As in Dirty Harry Automag? No. I have the Automag 2, which is the budget of the Automags. I wish I had the Automag 180 though. Unfortunately, those are very expensive. Is that DOE Colt? It is. It's mostly the PSA clone, not entirely. It does have some parts swapped out to make it more clone correct, but it is the 635 DOE clone. Automags are a vibe, it's true. They are. They're also wildly expensive. I got a very good deal on mine, which is why I have it. Because even the Automag 2s are going for a lot of money now. The Automag 2s are going for, oh my goodness, a lot of money. Like $1,200 to $1,500, it looks like. This guy wants $2,000. That seems a little crazy. Yeah, I got mine for like $500 from a guy who was just trying to get rid of it. LR300. The LR300 is cool. It's a cool gun. It's not, it doesn't like tickle my tism super hard, but it is very cool. I think it's sexy. There are a lot of really sexy guns out there. The Gunbroker Elite Collector. Elite Collector's Auctions. That just sounds like you're paying a premium. I haven't seen this page before. New Gunbroker page. Collector's Elite Auction. But they just look like... Hey, speaking of Automag, Automag 3. $800 with 11 days left still. These just look like normal Gunbroker items, I'm gonna be honest. Why is this Elite Collector? These just look like normal guns. I'm disappointed. Izmash Saiga 12. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know what the collector's elite auction is on Gunbroker. You just get to pay an extra premium for not anything extra premium. That's dumb. That's stupid. Oh, big yawn. Big yawn. Man, YouTube's not giving me a lot of fantastic recommendations. It's also possible that there's just not a lot of gun things happening right now. There's a... Oh, you know who I haven't checked in a while? Gearhead. How is Gearhead doing with the Type 100 reproductions? Nothing changed. Nothing has changed so far. Last update 6.16. Laser engraver on the way. Yeah, that's what we knew of the update last time we were looking. I want one so bad. Oh, my keyboard's dying. Quit pinging at me. I saw the first notification. I should try messaging Gearhead. Because I want one. Is that the Smith & Wesson mag version of the Sub 2000? No. Do you think I'm a psychopath? It's the Glock mag version. I just have a weird Glock mag in it. I have the Torque mag. Oh, and it says it really big on the side. Torque mag. Glock mag. It doesn't work very well at anything. But it holds more rounds. Yes, well. Hey. Don't bully the streamer. Ends stream. See, Gearhead Gunsmith is also on Instagram. When was their last update on Instagram? 3 weeks ago? Oh, my ears. Why is there no volume on Instagram videos? It's just really loud or nothing. Look at them go. Making stuff. They be smithing. They're woodsmithing. They're woodsmithing, chat. I hope that they make a split stock like the Japanese guns actually had. I hope that's an option for all the guns. Because I know they have, or they had, or they will have an option for a split stock for a historical reproduction. But I want the split stock on my pseudo-historical reproduction that doesn't actually fire the Nambu cartridge so that I can afford to shoot it sometimes. Worst case, you can saw the stock in two yourself. No, you don't just saw the stock in two. you start with two separate pieces of wood and you dovetail them together. And so the wood grain doesn't quite line up because it's different pieces of wood, and they're dovetailed together with Japanese craftsmanship. You don't just saw it in half and stick it back together. Are they making it with the poisonous wood stock as well? Actually, hold on. Actually, oh, forgot to put that there. I forgot the FALO was just hanging out by my chair. Almost died tripping on it. By poisonous wood, do you mean the poisonous wood coating? The poisonous lacquer that they used on the wood? Is that what you meant? Because I am ready. You drinking that? No. This is like... That'd be like drinking... like... poison ivy concentrate. Allergy warning. Yes. I have used this before just to like test it out. And there was I don't remember what I was using. It was like some tool. It was like a stick that I used to like mix it up, because you have to mix it with acetone, if I remember correctly. It was a long time ago. And I like accidentally like touched this stick to my arm, just like ever so lightly. And I had a rash for like a week. So yes, allergy warning. There are supposedly some people that aren't allergic to this. But there's also people who aren't allergic to poison ivy or poison oak. So they just get to be lucky, I guess. And they can Japanese lacquer themselves and not die. And they put this on the stock where you put your face. So the Japanese urushi lacquer is very bright in the camera. Oh my goodness. Once it cures, it no longer is allergy inducing. And so what they did back then is basically they would have vats of this stuff that they would just dip the stalks in and pull them out and then just let them sit there until they cured. And once they cure, then they're no longer cause a reaction. But they do take, depending on the conditions that they're being cured in, they take weeks. It takes weeks to cure. Is it a REM grip on the 1911? It is a REM grip. We have REM on this side and RAM on that side. Although the RAM side is yellowing a little bit. I think it's probably because when I open carry this, the RAM side is on the outside because I'm right-handed. And so I think it might be a little sun bleached. Although it doesn't seem like it has been in the sun that much. I have taken this to competitions though, just for fun, because I can. And it's funny. I haven't gone to a competition in a long time. I've been trying to go to a brutality competition or a brutality match, except the next one coming up is July 26th, which I tried to register for, and I was waitlisted and have not yet been approved. And it is now 2 weeks away. And they haven't scheduled anything after that. I want to go to a brutality match. But they won't friggin' schedule any of them. What are they doing? Probably going out of business. Do you own anything cagular? What does cagular mean? Is this some kind of new slang that I don't know? What is cagular? Never mind. Urban Dictionary. Cagular. No definitions found. What? What does cagular mean? I'm so confused. Let's sweep that under the rug. But now what does that mean? Cagular refers to a chieftain mentioned in a story about Cyrus the Great, the Emperor of Persia. Of course. Persia. How could I not have known? That's not what I meant. Nope, that's all we've got. The story of General Cagular. A great Persian emperor. CAG is an alternate name for Delta Force. Okay. That makes more sense. Nods and other high-end tack gear? No. I have guntism. I don't really have geartism. So I've got, like the basics of gear. I've got, some mag holders that you put on your belt. I don't have a chest rig or anything. I do need to fix that. I need a chest rig. Maybe a plate carrier. But only the very basics. Got some slings. Some mag carriers. Some pockets. You could put magazines in those. South, I'm the Traintism for 5 VTubers. Hello, Mr. Traintism. Oh, apparently ICE is no longer using the P320 in gun news. Interesting. P320 fans in shambles. ICE is no longer using the P320. Let's see, is there gun news? I think it's been a couple weeks since we've looked at gun news. More surplus P320s. Chat, are you going to buy the surplus ICE P320s? Oh, new lightweight M240Ls. That is a huge scope. Probably cold. If the ICE P320s have an ICE engraving on them somewhere, like some kind of marking showing that they belonged to ICE, then I might be interested. But for the most part, for surplus guns, recent surplus guns, I should specify. Old surplus guns are a different story. But new surplus guns, if they don't have markings for whatever agency, I don't really care. Just buy a guy and train with it. Buy a guy. You're right. I need to do that. I gotta get a guy. Gotta buy a guy and train with him. Train with it. Where did that meme come from? I have seen that circulating. Buy a guy and train with it. Where did that come from? Hard pass typo. So it literally came from an internet memer's typo. Beautiful. It's wonderful. Not a lot. What is that? CZ P10 ported? What? It looks almost like it's got Picatinny rails for slide serrations on the top. Actually, why hasn't anyone done that? Where's the Picatinny rail slide serrations? They prevent glare. Yeah, but make them Picatinny rails. Like the Desert Eagle. The Desert Eagle has Picatinny rails on the barrel, I guess. It's not a slide. I want to attach Picatinny things to the front. Does it? Yeah, the Desert Eagle has Picatinny on the front of the barrel. At least some of them do. Do they make muzzle brakes with Picatinny? Yes. Yes, they do. I'm not sure who they is, but I've seen a quad rail muzzle brake. Rite selling pistols now? Okay. Guessing for air. Hold on. Hold on. Now you're gonna make me go find it. Okay, there it is. Quad rail. Kind of. 5-slot, 4-sided Picatinny for AR-15, M16, M4. $17. Why? Obviously, so you can mount your light on your muzzle brake. Or your front sight. You can mount your front sight on your muzzle brake. Definitely for real gun, airsoft uses 14, not 1/2 by 28. Pictured on a Walther P22. All right, chat. Who's gonna get the quad rail muzzle brake for your M16? It fits for barrel thread 1/2 by 28, such as AR-15, M16, M4, SR-22, and SR-10. Most 223 at 5.56. Made for 223 and 5.56, chat. This is made for real guns. They have other things as well. This one right here, actually, this one kind of looks like the Gepard muzzle brake a little bit. Yeah, so there you go, chat. Now you know. The quad rail muzzle brake. It exists. Better question, who's gonna use it and video it? Videotape it. Excuse me, Grandma. I didn't know we're using videotapes. You should get a lawn chair laser engraved on the Foldy Boy. A lawn chair? We want me to get like a lawn chair tramp stamp? Just like on the buffer tube of this thing? It already has the kawaii flower. Oh, chat. They also they also make a 7.62 version in 14 by 1 left-handed for your AK. Any takers? You know, AKs notoriously are lacking mounting surfaces. There you go. There you go. Here's your solution. And you can mount it right on the muzzle brake for $19. Can't remember what the Zastava M90 thread pitch is. This is an easy problem to fix, or an easy answer. Hold on. Zastava. Accessories. Muzzle brakes. 14 by 1 left-handed. There you go. Zastava are 14 by 1 left-handed. Matilda, didn't realize airsoft muzzle threading standard was the same as AKs. Now you know. Is airsoft left-handed? Because AK is left-handed. There's a lot of really strange thread pitches out there. Noted. I will forget. Fair enough. I wonder, is Zostova's 4th of July sale still going? I do really want, I want the Zostova suppressor. Because it's just, you gotta have that, like, bulged suppressor for an AK. It just looks right. And I want it. Also, if Zostova is going to be having a hard time getting imports in, they might be pushing suppressors a lot harder. Because those are made in the US. Over 1K. Yeah, these are a little bit expensive. I'm gonna be honest though. If these go only 2 left, they're probably not going to. But I was gonna say, if these go on sale, I might call my FFL and be like, hey, can I order this and just like let it sit around until January? Is it hub compatible? I'm pretty sure it's direct thread. I could be wrong. Zostova Vuk, a 30 caliber suppressor engineered specifically with the AK platform in mind, combining retro styling. We need more of that. We need more of the retro styling, please. With cutting edge performance. Inspired by the iconic look of classic AK suppressors, the Vuk pays homage to battlefield heritage while embracing the future with advanced purposely induced porosity. PIP technology. Cut from lightweight yet incredibly strong titanium, this can is built to withstand the harshest conditions while delivering exceptional sound suppression and minimal back pressure. Direct thread, 14x1 left-handed. Oh, wait. Mount thread pitch 1.375 by 24 hub mount. Okay. It is, in fact, hub compatible. I mean, $1,200. You better be, but I didn't know it was. There you go. Hub compatible. Now you're more interested in it. The price is still a lot. $1,200. That's a lot. And I know that it's got like their PIP technology, extruded titanium, whatever's going on there. But it's a lot of money. Looks like a metal 3D printed suppressor. It is. It is. It's cool though. I like it. I wish more people made retro styled suppressors. This new stuff is boring. Give me the old stuff made with new materials. That's what I want. A Gucci Johnson rifle. You would like your Johnson to be Gucci. You put all kinds of stuff on it. There's a lot of old guns that I feel like deserve reproductions. And if you reproduce a gun, then you can make one that's the actual like clone correct reproduction, and you can make another one that's also the tactical version of that. And then you can satisfy two markets at once. Go back to mesh suppressors. Come January, you could just make them yourself for like $30 worth of parts at Home Depot. Alexios, gotta head to bed. Nice meeting you. See you around. All right, good night. Thank you for stopping by, hanging around. You can fix your old one. Fix my old what? I don't own anything that's broken or any incomplete projects. Don't believe that. Talking about the old guns. Yeah. I clearly don't own anything that needs to be fixed or built. Except we've got a parts kit cleaning stream on Sunday. And most people, when they go and fix old guns, what they really mean is, I'm gonna drill and tap this marked receiver for a scope. Rest in peace, all those cool Arisakas. Chat, he missed the thing he just talked about. Hold on, hang on. I gotta employ extra brain power. What were we just talking about? No, I can't do it. I don't know what we were just talking about. It's over. I got hit with streamer brain. My brain recycled everything. It threw it out so it could make new nonsense. Every Raifu needs an 8x optic, Sonny. No. Keep your 8x optics off of my Raifu. Off your rifles. The brain rot is real. My brain has rotted and run out of my head. I don't know where it went. It's not there anymore, though. It was absorbed by the AI. That's how AI runs. They secretly programmed your brain to run the AI through subliminal messaging, and that's what brain rot is. Fixing the old guns that are old or make reproduction ones. Yeah, but some of the old guns that are cool, there's not old ones to fix. Those are the coolest ones. The ones that you are impossible to buy. I don't want reproductions of things that you could buy. I want reproductions of things you can't buy. Like the Type 100. Can we watch a Dave Chappelle gun joke? Only 2 minutes.
I hate
This. Let's see. Let's see how this goes.
I hate guns, personally.
Skill issue.
I can't stand them. Yeah, but I have several.
Good.
First gun I bought was a 12-gauge shotgun. I was
Very
sitting there on
standard.
the porch, and I see a white dude walking across my property, entitled, like he's supposed to be there. He had a rifle over his shoulder, too. Ain't that a bitch? I said, what the fuck is this guy doing on my property? I was mad as shit, but I was unarmed. So I ended up just waving to this motherfucker like a bitch. I was just like... And as soon as he got far enough away, I ran to my car and sped to Kmart. And I ran to the
Kmart?
gun counter, black and sweaty, sweating and black. And I looked up at the nigga, I was like, I look like a slave or something. I said, I need a gun immediately, like that. Just like that. The guy didn't answer, no questions. He just grabbed a 12-gauge shotgun, handed it to me. And the guy reached under the counter, put 2 box shells on the counter. He said, all right, buddy, which box do you want? And I didn't know.
Average
One
movie
box
gun
had
store
pictures of some
experience.
ducks on it. The other box had a picture of some deer. I said, well, what's that box with them ducks? He said, oh, that there's birdshot. And then he goes just like this, I'm not exaggerating, he goes, that won't kill a man.
Yeah, it will.
He said, it'll just pepper him up nicely. I said, what the fuck? Pepper?
I would
said, well,
rather
what's
not
that
get hit
box
by birdshot.
with the deer on it? He goes, oh, that there's buckshot. That'll put a hole in the goddamn truck if you wanted to. So which box do you want? And he picked the one with the deer up and shook it. I thought he was trying to trick me. I was like, do you have a box with a picture of a white dude trespassing on it? Because...
Average movie gun shop experience. Literally. That's what people think going to a gun store is like. I keep... Every time I refresh my homepage, it keeps giving me this video. Jap language useful phrases. USMC Marine Corps World War II training film 64734. From 6 years ago. It keeps giving me that specific video every time I refresh my YouTube For You page. In case I need to talk to Japanese people in World War II. Curse in Japanese. Kuso. There you go. That's a curse in Japanese. The algorithm knows. I think that's right. Kuso? That might be right. Mandarin and Hebrew language looking good to learn. Mandarin has always looked good to learn. What do you mean? I mean, it looks like the hardest thing ever to learn, but super useful. You have brain delay? You have brain delay. Brain rot is real. No, your brain rot is real. We already went over this. My brain is rotting away because it's running the AI through subliminal messaging. Ferocious. You have brain dial-up. That's reasonable. Okay, hold on. I gotta know. It's sitting here looking at me. We got static. Da 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 da. Holy, you can see the actual film rolling. Classic black and white, literally film.
A great many marine lives were saved on Guadalcanal, Bougainville, in the Marshall Islands and elsewhere as a result of information obtained from Japanese prisoners. To capture Japs may be in some cases more important than capturing Jap positions. For prisoners can tell us where the enemy
Yeah, the Japanese weren't very fond of being captured. That didn't happen very often.
is, how strong he is, what Jap units are present, what his plans are, and where his artillery and command posts are located. Having captured a prisoner, the next task is to handle him with
Oh, are we gonna learn how to take prisoners of war? Is that what we're learning? We're learning how to take prisoners of war? Got it. Okay.
minimum of risk to yourself and with efficiency in order to get him to the rear quickly for questioning. Thus, in addition to the individual and team training you have received, the knowledge of a few Japanese words may prove invaluable.
In this picture, we're going to learn 11 Japanese phrases, all having to do with the capturing of prisoners.
11 Japanese phrases to help capture war criminals. Or capture prisoners, war prisoners.
Now first, the pronunciation. Pronounce A as in father, I as in machine, E as in men, O as in bone, U as in rude. When the vowel O is marked long, you hold the sound twice as long. Say Tokyo, not Tokyo.
Tokyo.
G is always hard as in go, never as in ginger. Divide the words into syllables and try not to accent any one word or syllable. The first word is surrender. This is the way the Japanese write it using our kind of lettering.
Romanji. We got Romanji. Kind of. They explained things so perfect back then. Love the details and simple, straight to the point. Honestly, that was surprisingly straight to the point, easy to understand. When I started learning Japanese, I wish they had given me that. Holy.
This is the way it must be pronounced. Ko-san-seo. Surrender.
Ko-san-seo.
Now everyone say it with me. Ko-san-seo.
Ko-san-seo.
A little louder, please. And let's try it again. Ko-san-seo.
Ko-san-seo.
Ko-san-seo. Ko-san-seo. That means surrender. I'm going back over these words later to see how many you remember, so keep your wits about you. Surrender.
Keep your wits about you, Chad.
Ko-san-seo. Now the next word is uchikata o yame. That means
Yamero.
ceasefire.
Yamero.
Now let's all say it together. Uchikata o yame. Louder.
Uchikata wo yame.
That's your platoon leader's signal for ceasefire.
Uchikata o yame.
Associate that in your mind with uchikata Uchikata Oyame.
Uchikata
Those in the
oyame.
back row's asleep. If he doesn't care about getting the Japs to cease fire, this may be the last picture he'll ever see. Buki wo stero. Buki wo stero.
Buki wo
Drop your
stero.
weapons. Say it with me.
Buki wo stero.
Say it with me
Oh
again.
no, they're getting the R's wrong. They're doing the R's wrong. They're doing really American R's. Ro. Ro. Japanese R's are somewhere between like an R and a D. Ro. Ro as in Roman. Ro. Ro. Buki o sutero. Buki. Oh wait,
Oh, you can
he
do better
stopped.
than that. Let's hear it. And get it right this time.
Buki wo
stero.
sutero.
Drop your weapons. Next phrase. Te o
Agero.
agero. Hands up. Te o agero.
Te is hands. Agero is to go up. Hands up, literally.
Te o agero. You think you've got that
Te o
now?
agero.
Let me hear you yell it and put up your hands at the same time. Te o agero.
Te o agero.
Next phrase.
Who is this guy? This guy just changing the slides. This is what they did before PowerPoint. They just had some guy moving cards around. Is that a copy of the Department of Energy Colt? It is. That is exactly what that is. There's a couple internal parts I still need to swap to get it to actually clone correct, but yes.
Korosanai yo. We won't murder you.
Korosanai yo.
Korosanai yo. We won't murder you. That means we won't do any killing
Korosanai
if they
yo.
surrender. Now let's have a little contest. The men on this side yell it loud.
That's probably important. This is how I'm going to introduce myself to Japanese people whenever visit Japan. Ah, konnichiwa, genki desu ka? Korosanai yo. Hi, how you doing? I'm not going to murder you. This is very important. You need to use these phrases every day in Japanese life. King Panzer. I bet we use prisoner of war camps to make these videos from California back in the day because we have Japanese prisoners in camps in the US. Probably. They probably use the Japanese work camps in the US to make these cards. Jerez, I feel like Japanese is easy to learn versus Mandarin. Yes, you're correct. Mandarin is like the hardest language ever to learn.
Korosanai yo.
Korosanai yo.
Korosanai
Korosanai yo.
Good. Now we've covered 5 words. That wasn't bad, was it? Practice will give you confidence, and your prisoners will obey orders quickly.
Yes,
For example,
I need my prisoners
here's
to
a way
obey
remember.
orders.
What's the command to
Korosanai yo.
drop your weapons? Not enough of you remembered.
Oh, weapons? Oh, I didn't remember. Buki o sutero.
Buki wo stero. Try it again. Bu.
Buki o sutero. Hey,
What is
it
it?
worked. He dropped it. Buki o sutero.
That's better.
Sen o sutero.
No wonder it's better. Now try it.
Buki o sutero.
Your pronunciation
Here's,
could be improved.
I can still see it.
It's Buki wo stero. Buki wo stero.
Buki o sutero.
Hands up. What's the word?
Wait. Sutero? Isn't that supposed to be a hard consonant? An accented consonant? Hold on. Translate. Japanese. Voice input isn't supported on this browser. Buki o stero.
武器を捨てろ。
Grab your weapon? I don't think that's what we're trying to say. Buki o stero means grab your weapon, according to Google Translate. Buki o stero. I don't think that's what we're trying to say. Do we think that Google Translate is wrong, or this Marine Corps training is incorrect? Is the film hijacked? The film might be hijacked from their prisoners of war. I think they may have given them incorrect information.
Not bad, not good. It's teo agero. Teo agero.
Teo agero.
Practice these words among yourselves.
That one's correct.
Check and double check each other. Get these Japanese words
I know
down
that one's
pat.
correct.
It takes time, it takes trouble, but it also takes prisoners. All right, next time. Here's one you'll like. It means strip. Might come in handy sometime.
Yo. What are they teaching? Might come in handy sometime. Oh my goodness. They're getting raunchy out there.
It's hadaka ni nare. Hadaka ni nare.
Hadaka ni nare.
Hadaka ni nare. Hadaka ni nare. Spread.
Hadaka ni nare. Oh. Where's the
Hadaka ni
saxophone
nare.
music?
Strip. Now I'm going to give you two words
Detekoi.
that should be learned together. Detekoi, come out. Kochikoi, come
Kochikoi.
here. Say them with me.
Detekoi.
Detekoi, come out. Kochikoi, come
Hochikoi.
here. Let's see what happens. Detekoi,
Detekoi. Oh, they just summoned that guy.
Kochikoi.
Kochikoi.
Try these two phrases that mean come out and come here again. Tell them to come out. De,
Detekoi. Hey, we summoned
tell
that
them to
guy.
come here.
Kochikoi. Here he comes. Wow.
Next is susume.
Susume.
Forward march. That's easy, isn't it?
Susume.
Susume. Forward march. Susume.
Susume.
Tomare.
Tomare. Tomare.
All right.
Tomare.
Tomare, as you have seen,
Tomare.
means halt. Tomare. Halt.
Tomare.
Try it again.
Tomare.
Susume.
Susume.
Forward march. Tomare.
Tomare.
Halt. Here's the last word we're going to learn today. It's damare. Shut up.
Damare. Shut up.
Let's try it.
Damare.
Damare. Shut up. Again. Da.
Damare.
Mare.
Kusokurai.
Damare.
Damare.
There are the 11 words. Let's give them a quick once over together. Kosan seyo.
Kosan seo.
Surrender. Kosan seyo.
Kosan sero.
I know these words. I want you to know them. All together. Kosan seyo.
Kosan seo.
Uchikata oyame. Ceasefire.
Uchikata o yame.
Uchikata oyame.
Uchikata o yame.
Come out.
Detekoi.
Detekoi. Again. Dete koi.
Dete koi.
Come here. Kochi
Kochi koi.
All together. Kochi koi.
Kochi koi.
We won't murder you. Koro
Sanai yo.
Now let's all say it together. Koro sanai yo.
Koro sanai yo.
Drop your weapon. Buki wo
Buki o sutero.
Now everyone say it with me.
Ju o sutero.
Buki wo stero. Hands up. Te o agero.
He o agero.
Te o agero.
You can't see it, but I lifted up my hands.
March.
Susume.
Now let's try it again.
Susume. Tomare.
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 Tomare. Tomare.
Strip. Hadaka ni
Hadaka ni,
nare.
hadaka ni nare.
Let's try
Chat.
it.
Chat, that's for you.
Hadaka,
Hadaka ni nare.
Shut up. Da ma
Damare.
re.
Damare.
The knowledge of these few Japanese words and phrases may someday save your lives and the lives of others. So
Damare.
study them. Learn them. Learn them well.
Gosokurai yo.
Words, too, are weapons.
Da 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 da. Very useful. Well, now we can take Japanese prisoners of war. The more you know. The more you know. Aren't you glad that you know this now, chat? Korosanai yo. Ferocious almost said dark humor. What? No dark humor allowed when we are watching a video on how to take prisoners of war. Clearly, that's not the time. This may help me in Kabuchiko. And when you visit Japan, these are very, very useful words. Particularly the korosanai yo. It's very important that people know that you're not going to murder them. This is how we get foreign girlfriends? I don't think so. I could be wrong. But I think that might not get you foreign girlfriends, chat. Although there was the one there for strip. So, you know, maybe. Maybe they will appreciate how forward you are. See, what was in there? Strip? Hands up? Come here? Okay, hold on. Wait, hold on. Are we... Maybe. No was not a word we learned. Yet. Yeah. Yeah, usually being taken as a prisoner of war is not something that you are able to give your consent for. That's usually something that just happens to you. That was a very, very educational video. All right, chat, which ones do you remember? Quiz time. Quiz time. How do you say hands up? Hataki ni nare? No, that's wrong. That's not hands up. Nope, that's not right. Just Walk up to everybody. Haraka ni nare. Eventually you'll find the one. Te o ageru. Te o ageru. That's one of the two I remember, I'm gonna be honest. Korosanai yo. It was close. It was close. It was close. You probably could use ga instead of o. Te ga ageru. Sounds doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well. But they would understand you if you said te ga ageru. Baka yaro. Kuso kurai. That one's important. It doesn't actually like cause any action to happen besides maybe making someone angry at you. Oh, if there's a sequel, Knowing Your Enemy in Japan. World War II training and propaganda film. Enemy Weapons. Japanese Army. World War II infantry training film. Man, this is a series. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Bruh yourself. Now, my For You page is going to be World War II training videos. Crack that tank. Restricted World War II training film. Crack that tank. We're screwed. Now ready for JP collabs. Yep. I now know how to say I am not gonna murder you. And hands up. Korosanai yo. Te o ageru. The Empire was not known for having great tanks. I think the Crack That Tank is not necessarily limited to the Pacific. That one might be a more generic World War II training film. Your YouTube filled with training vids from 1940s. Nostalgia. I what is this? How to get killed? One easy lesson? Man. I didn't know that I had to learn how to do that. Well, maybe we'll save that one. We'll save that one for another time. How to get killed in one easy lesson. That's wonderful. Oh my goodness, it's almost 2 in the morning. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize it was almost 2 in the morning. It's over. We are going to be raiding out. Where is Type 99? I don't know. It's a good question. We don't have a Type 99 because I haven't taken any Japanese prisoners of war. How am I going to get a Type 99? All right, we are going to raid out though. Now for the hardest part of stream. Who do we raid? Are there any Japanese gun tuber VTubers on? Probably not. All right, we're going to raid. I'm following too many people. I honestly need to clean up who I'm following. Because I don't have time to watch all these people. Polydactyl. This is the only gun stream you've seen on Twitch? There's a few. If you want recommendations. But, so, Gotcha Guns. Gotcha Guns, my Oshi. Streams guns. Almost exclusively. There's a lot of other streamers that do it in the midst of other things. So, you've got Leaflet does guns sometimes. Her less than some. Operator Grizz, Megalum. There's some others. There's some others. It's mostly smaller streamers. Isn't Grimmy getting a gun soon? It would be surprising if Grimmy didn't already have guns. I'm gonna be honest. It would surprise me if Grimmy didn't already have guns. at least some. Because Grimmy seems very much like a prepper. I do think we're going to raid Grimmy though. Grimmy is currently doing indie horror games, various. So, we are going to raid Grimmy on Twitch, on Kick. What do we do on Kick? I need to find more people to follow on Kick so I can find more people to raid or host on Kick who stream at this time. Alright, so Kick stream is probably just gonna vanish. Yeah, we're gonna raid Grimmy. Grimmy is very cool. We do have raid messages, both for those with and without subscriptions. So we're raiding Grimmy. She's very cool. I will be back tomorrow. I'm back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Yes, back tomorrow. Tomorrow is just another Just Chatting stream. And then Saturday, we will be doing the history of US gun regulations. Deep dive. And Sunday, gun parts kits cleaning stream. So, until next time, I will see you all next time.
Polydactyl_productions just followed on Twitch.
Polydactyl, thank you for the follow. Welcome. But I will see you all next time. Goodbye, Derez, Polydactyl, King Panzer, Matilda, anyone else hanging about?